Solving inequalities by adding and subtracting. We can use the same properties we use on an equality or an equation where we have x minus 10 equals negative 6. We solve that by getting x by itself, and so we use the addition property of equality and the subtraction property of equality to solve this. We say we add 10 to both sides. Well, we're going to do the same thing, only now we're going to talk about inequalities. And so the property is the same. If we need to add 10 to both sides in an equality, we can do the same thing in an inequality. We can add 10 to both sides, and that doesn't change the inequality. So we have x, cross out or cancel the 10s, is less than 4. And then we can graph that on a number line. And so we have 0, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And on 4, again, it is a open circle because we're not including 4. It's not equal to 4. So we have an open circle on 4, and we're talking about things that are less than 4. So what's less than 4? 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1. Those are all less than 4. If we check this, we can see whether this is true or not by checking our endpoint and by checking another point that we know is in our drawing of what this inequality should be. So let's check 4. If we say 4 minus 10, is that less than negative 6? Well, 4 minus 10 is negative 6. Is negative 6 less than negative 6? No, it's not. So we should not include 4. And we haven't included 4. You can see on the drawing it's an open circle rather than a filled in one. And then let's check some other number. Let's check 0. 0 minus 10 should be less than negative 6. That's negative 10 is less than negative 6, so that's true. So you can check your solutions just by putting numbers back into the equation, or the inequality in this case, to see if they are true or not. So here's the second one, and it wants you to graph it and then check the solution. So solve the inequality first, add 3 to both sides. Then we have x is greater than or equal to 8. And then we're going to graph it. So again, here's our 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and our 8. And we're looking at numbers greater than or equal to, so this time we're going to fill in on the 8, because we're including 8, and then we're going anything greater than 8. Okay, so again, let's check our solution and see if it's, start by checking the endpoint. If we put 8 minus 3, is that greater than or equal to 5? Well, that's 5 is greater than or equal to 5, and 5 is equal to 5, so we know that that is true. Then let's check a number greater than 8. So let's try 10. If we put 10 in here, 10 minus 3 should be greater than or equal to 5. And 10 minus 3 is 7, and 7 is greater than or equal to 5. So that's true. So we know we've colored it in the right spot, we've filled in the dot, and we've colored the right direction or gone the right direction. Using subtraction, the addition and subtraction inequalities are the same. So if we can use addition, we can also use subtraction. Here we're going to minus 2 from both sides. And so x, cancel out the 2's, is greater than 1. And then graph it. Here's 0, here's 1. It's just greater than 1, so we're going to put the open circle on 1 and talk about greater than. Okay, and again, you should check the endpoint, and you should check some number that fits into the data set that we believe is true. So we're going to check 1 into our original equation. 1 plus 2 is greater than 3. 3 is greater than 3? No, it's not, and we've shown that with the open circle again. And let's check a number bigger than 1. Let's check 5. 5 plus 2 should be greater than 3. And so that 7 is greater than 3, and that is true as well. Application problem. we have to figure out what the inequality is before we can do anything with it. So, an airline allows a suitcase that weighs no more than 50 pounds when it's full. Jared's empty suitcase weighs 5 pounds. How much weight can Jared pack in his suitcase? So, he's got this 50 pounds, and it can weigh no more than 50 pounds. So, it can weigh 50 pounds, but it also has to weigh less than 50 pounds. So we have something being less than or equal to 50. And then we've got his suitcase, which weighs 5 pounds, plus how much he can pack in it, which we don't know. So x plus 5 has to be less than or equal to 50. So solve this equation, minus 5 from both sides. And x has to be less than or equal to 45. In other words, he can pack up to 45 pounds in his suitcase. Again, let's pick a number and check it. Let's pick 10. 10 plus 5, because 10 was less than 45, that's why I picked that. 10 plus 5 would be 15, and is 15 less than or equal to 50? And yes, it is. So we know that that's the correct direction that it needs to be in.